We have two stories of attempts at hacking Tesla, as well as a look at the resilient heart of a Tesla racing team. This is Tesla Tidbits episode number 617, recorded for August 28th, 2020. The show is sponsored by my supporter Richard. If you're in the market for a new Tesla, please consider using his referral code. Ask your salesperson to use code Richard174 or go direct to the web link ts.la/Richard174 and pick up a 1,000-mile supercharging credit for your new vehicle. We head into the weekend, this time with a tale of two different hacking attempts against Tesla. One of these was massively successful, but luckily was in the hands of an ethical research hacker. The other was totally foiled thanks to a Tesla employee with an iron will to do the right thing, as you'll see shortly. First up, though, is the story of Jason Hughes, who you may well know as WK057 on Twitter. Jason and Green the Only are probably the two most well-known hackers in the Tesla community, known because of the work they do to expose how the cars work, for better or worse. What none of us knew until today is that Jason had at one time obtained the power to control every single one of our cars. Today, Jason published a document detailing the entire method he used to gain control of any car in the fleet, with some redactions as to specific network addresses or URLs. The CliffsNotes version of this document is that he was able to utilize his own car's VPN connection to poke around the Tesla network enough to find a chain of credentials that led to his ability to control any car he wished as though he had the owner's app signed in on his phone. Jason notes at the beginning of the document that Tesla responded immediately to his report to resolve the issues he brought to light, and also mentions that their security posture has greatly improved since 2017 when he accomplished this, saying that today, quote, a relatively simple attack like this would not be possible, end quote. Now, for those in the audience that are not InfoSec professionals, he considers this a simple attack, but I certainly didn't. He went through a lot of work and did a lot of legwork and figured out how to connect some dots that a lot of other people that are very talented might not have been able to. If you're at all technically inclined, check out the full document as to how he accomplished the hack. It's a stark reminder to those of us in the information security community that the little things matter. None of the things he found on their own were really all that powerful, but with a talented attacker at the keyboard, even the smallest things can turn into a big deal, as Jason proved so well. Thankfully, he was on our side, just like our next story. And that next story that crossed the streams between my hobby world and professional world today came from Teslarati. If you thought that last story was something, this one is even more fantastical. Stories like that first one keep me up at night as an information security professional. The attackers can try again and again and again and again to defeat your defenses, really without any penalty for failure for the most part. But if you fail once as an InfoSec professional, you lose and it's game over. In this story, it likely wouldn't have mattered what Tesla's security team had in place, because the attacker attempted, and thankfully failed, to compromise an employee. The story comes from Giga, Nevada, where a Russian-speaking non-US citizen was contacted by a would-be attacker from Russia to compromise Tesla's network by running malware that would have been provided to the employee by the attacker. The malware would have launched a distributed denial-of-service attack on the Tesla network, distracting the security team, while other functions of the malware would have allowed the attackers to steal data from Tesla and or lock the company computers by encrypting them so they couldn't be opened without a key provided by the attacker. For the employee's role in this, they would have been paid, and say this with me in your best Dr. Evil voice, $1 million. Thankfully for everyone, in the face of an enormous incentive not to, the employee reported the plan to Tesla, which then got the FBI involved. The FBI sent the employee again to discuss the plan with the attacker, who divulged that his group had been able to extract a ransom from another high-profile company in excess of $4 million. It would seem that Tesla would have been in for a huge demand had the attempt succeeded, considering the employee was offered $1 million just for their role in the plan. Armed with this, as well as further information received while the employee met the attacker wired for surveillance, the FBI eventually captured the attacker late last week in Los Angeles, where it was assumed the attacker was attempting to flee the country. All I have to say, to whoever this employee is thank you for your amazing moral compass. Your action to disclose this attempt, instead of take advantage of the opportunity, not only saved us owners a lot of heartache, but your own co-workers as well. I really hope that this employee was somehow recognized and given a bonus for helping to bring the criminal to justice, because with $1 million staring them in the face, there are otherwise upstanding good human beings that would have taken that offer. So again, to whoever this Giga Nevada employee is, On behalf of the owner community and your coworkers, thank you for doing the right thing. Lastly, for this week, we have the story of Unplugged Performance trying to break the 10-minute mark on the Pikes Peak mountain climb. Unfortunately, this story does not have a happy ending, though it is certainly one of perseverance. In day 2 of testing, driver Randy Pobst was behind the wheel when things literally went sideways. And Randy, I apologize in advance if I butchered your name, as I couldn't find anyone saying it in any of your YouTube videos. In any case, this was following day 1 of testing on the lower part of the course that went extremely well for the team. However, not even 30 seconds into his first run on the upper section, Randy found a large depression at high speed that he wasn't ready for and promptly put the car into the hillside, doing extensive, likely life-ending damage to the car. Thankfully, Randy is okay, saved for a bruised ego and some immense guilt. But the Unplugged Performance team was not ready to throw in the towel just yet. They tweeted it just after 9 p.m. Eastern Time saying, quote, "Never give up. A totaled car will not stop us. We will wave the Tesla flag from the top of the mountain. An hour ago, we bought a new car. We will straighten the frame on the race car and rebuild it in 48 hours. Thank you to the Tesla community for your inspiration and support," end quote. Well, team, I wish you nothing but the best in your attempt to crack that 10-minute mark, and here's hoping that Randy gets you there after learning his very expensive lesson. That'll do it for today's show. Thank you to all my patrons supporting the show at patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits. And as always, a special shout out to all the super patrons supporting the show at the $10 plus level. They are Ryan Scarborough, Lee Sweet, William Henry Crew III, Dorian Steve Guberman, Ralph and Cheryl Waterhouse, Todd Sullivan, Mitch Long, Zortec LED Canada, Morven Ogg, Raymond and Deborah Malkowitz, T Sportline, Vicky Kirk, Ricky Johnston, Nathan Garza, Ed Patterman, Sunil Joseph, Joy Rodriguez, and Brad Lettner. If you have feedback for me, the best way to be heard is to tweet at Tesla Tidbits and use the hashtag AskTeslaTidbits if you'd like your question to be considered for the show. Until next time, keep it charged and hit the road.